Folks, you've been waiting. We're 3 weeks into the season. Now it's time to reveal the rankings. We're going to get to that in just a minute. My name is Ray Vaughn. I'm with the Commissioner Griff. I'm with the guy behind the scenes. His name is TJ. In a few minutes, we're going to reveal the top 10. But right now, we're going to get into a little bit of what's been going on in the first 3 weeks of the season. Griff, how you think the league's been going so far, man?
Man, the league is taking off. You know what I mean? And from season 1.0 to 2.0, it's a lot of big improvements.
A lot of big improvement. What's the biggest improvement from last year to this year?
Size. It's a whole lot of 6'6" and better this year, more than it was. You know, your typical league is pretty much like 6 foot to probably about 6'5", Denver playing center. You know, but now you got 6'3", maybe a 6'5" guard. You know what I'm saying? Like Greg Grimes can play guard if you want to.
So, last year, by any means necessary, was a champion.
Mm-hmm.
We had 16 teams last year, 160 players. What was the offseason like and getting 2.0 started?
Well, the offseason was basically like I had to give myself some rest, not think about it no more. You know, everybody was like, when you going to do another city league? When you going to do this and do that? And I was like, let's let the dirt ball do what it do. I'll look back at me in October. So, you know, I had commitments from all 13 teams. And we didn't have 3 teams to come back. Easy Money OGs, Wonderful didn't come back, but they combined with one strong, you know, made that team survive. And the OGs just was, you know, they time to pass it on, basically.
They were the OGs. It was time to retire.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, the other team, they just couldn't come back, which was understandable, but most of their players kind of spread it out through the league and made, you know, some teams better than others, and sometimes, you know, the teams making it even.
What's the biggest difference between 1.0 and 2.0?
1.0,
other than the size?
1.0 was the structure. You know, it's like building a house. You know, you got to start with the foundation first. You know, with the helping hand of us and, you know, and our sponsors and stuff from last year, we made it happen. Now, with 2.0, making the teams understand that this is their franchises, you know what I'm saying, and taking commitment into running an actual basketball team.
So in the structures of the team, you have an owner, you have a GM, you have a player personnel, you have a coach,
right.
You have recruiters. Is that how teams normally structure their teams?
Yeah. I mean, in some aspect of it, it is. You know, you always got to have the person that's the organizer, basically be your team, you know, to find the head coach, to find good players for your team. Then you're going to have the head coach that's going to control the guys and put the offense in and know who's, you know, good at certain points of the game and stuff like that. And then with the player personnel, it's just basically having the players understand their role. You know, some teams this league is built on, you know, the nature of stats for recreation. So a lot
what do you mean by that?
Well, your normal recreation league, nobody really keeps up the stats. You might have poop bell just at the scores table. Here at the City League, we got 2 people keeping stats for the home away team. We got somebody running the scores clock. We got somebody running the official score book, and we also got somebody doing highlights and running the shot clock. So it's a lot that we put into it. You know, this guy over here, TJ, man, me and him was just in the off season just thinking of ideas and what we can incorporate from 1.0 to 2.0. But at the same time, we had to stay within our budget and make it work with what we had, you know. And back to what I was saying as far as like building the foundation, we had to make this league stand out to where it was, for me to be non-duplicated, but things are, you know. I just wanted to have the best organized basketball league in Louisville and have the best talent come to where we got Indiana, we got, you know, Newburgh, Fern Creek, or whatever, and incorporate it.
Now we're going to switch it over to our technical director, TJ. TJ makes sure that everything that you see on cityleagueballers.com is legitimate and correct. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my homeboy, TJ. What up, TJ?
What's going on, man?
Man, what do you do, man, for the City League?
Basically, what I do is I'm in charge of all the stats and the highlights and everything. You know, we wanted to make us different from any other league that we've ever been a part of or seen. I enter the stats into the website. I cut all uh, plays and highlights and the dunks and the crossovers. Like we had a couple of those this week. It was
Couple of crossovers
kind of
this
tough.
week.
A couple of dunks, couple of things that pretty tough for the highlights.
How do you think the first 3 weeks are going? We normally don't get to this point. We normally don't rank the teams until 3 weeks in. How do you think the league has gone so far?
I think the league's doing pretty good. Better than I expected. A lot of size, a lot of big men is what last year I thought we missed a lot of. A couple of Parker last year. Parker was the only guy that I thought nobody had an answer for.
Parker Hines, he was last year's Rookie of the Year. Do you have a favorite right now? Like right now through the first 3 weeks, if you had to pick a favorite, who you got?
Unfortunately, one of my favorite teams is not one of the better teams in the league right now.
Okay.
Premier Tattoo got a player on their team that I really watch and I think is a really, really good player. JT. He's a
What up,
beast.
JT?
He's a
No
beast,
question.
man. It just seems like they come out firing on our cylinders. They come out fast, but then they run out of gas every time.
Come out fast and run out of gas. That's the theme for Premier Tattoo. Premier Tattoo is on 3rd and Muhammad Ali. Griff, do you have a favorite throughout the first
Team
3
or player?
weeks? Both. Give me both.
I mean, I ain't gonna say I got favorites or nothing like that because I don't. But the team that stands out to me is KYE. They got a nice little nucleus going on. DA he went out and got some nice little players that know how to play with each other. My favorite player, it's a lot of guys, man. It's a lot of guys. I'm gonna say it's a tie between the 5th
Wesley Cox, what up, though?
and Swanlow, man. I like Swanlow game. Swanlow balls, man. He comes play.
Christian Swansea. What's up, Swanlow? So, Griff gave his tape. TJ gave his tape. I'm kind of
Who you
partial.
got?
Who do I have?
Yeah.
In my personal rankings, I have the defending champions by any means right number 1. I think they have the best player in the league in Nate Johnson. But there are a lot of guys, though, that are coming in that may not be the best player, but collectively they may come together and be the best tandem. I think that Leroy and Leroy, the brothers, I think that they are going to make a huge splash. Leroy Nobles played really good last week. He got off the schneid. Leroy Hickerson, the Green-Eyed Bandit, he's making a splash. He immediately vaulted into the top 5 players, in my opinion. So they haven't won a game.
Right.
Get Buckets hasn't won a game. They stink. They're 0-3. But we have a long season to go. We're just now getting into the conference play.
Right.
The first 3 games that we had, it's kind of like the beginning of the NCAA season. Football or basketball. You know how you kind of play like those weak teams early in the season in football and basketball and college basketball? Well, that's kind of how the CLB is. But now that you go to the Chickasaw League and the Shawnee League, Griff, who do you think is going to come out of each league?
Well, not only just to add on to what you were saying, like some teams play the weak teams, but you still have some teams like your Kentuckys and Dukes and Louisville that might play a Michigan State or each other early in the season.
And that was 4,100 in the East End.
Definitely. And it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
Do you think any team can go? Do you think that Kentucky Heat or by any means can go through the league undefeated?
Nah.
TJ,
Oh, nah.
can any team go through the league undefeated?
The only team I see could possibly pull it off is by any means because they press from beginning to end. And it don't matter if they're up by 30 or if they're up by 6. They're going to press you to death.
Okay. The Bad News Bears, the Bowel Movement, Get Buckets, and Premier Tattoo. Will those teams win a single game this year? Or will those teams go through the season without winning the game?
I mean, last year we had one team that didn't win a game in game for sale. But, they lost a couple games due to forfeits at the end. They came back and got a nice little nucleus, Stevie Gaines, Ian Childs. They got to win this year. So, anything's possible. With this league, you got to take into the fact, these ain't your typical basketball players. These is hardworking men. They got jobs and fathers and stuff like that, so they have priorities, and some can make games and some can't. But in the meantime,
I ain't trying to hear nothing.
I'm not trying to hear that either. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about the City League. It's a search. So
Serious business. TJ, will there be any team that goes throughout the season without winning the game?
One strong,
Yeah.
maybe. Bad. I used to really call it bad news birds, but
One strong.
they,
I think one strong is better than the bad news bears.
See, here's I'm gonna say something about that. Bad boys they are athletic.
I forgot.
They athletic, and Jordan is a monster.
I like Jordan.
Now they ran into a buzzsaw.
I like
first three
Tez.
games.
I like Jordan and Tez from the Bad News Bears,
'Cause they seen
aka the bad guys. But
three of the top 5 teams in the league. They had to play first 3 weeks.
so they've had a rough early schedule, and this is their debut.
Yeah, they are an expansion team. They're an expansion team. Young Gunners is an expansion team. And who else we got as an expansion team?
He's 10.
Who's your favorite player to watch?
Favorite player to watch? I gotta say Polo.
Polo.
I like Polo.
Polo the Don.
Yeah.
He had 41 in the debut. I think he had 20 plus in the second game, but he ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw in week 3 against the East End. The East End, they came out with a plan. They locked the man down. So TJ, who's your favorite player to watch?
Favorite player to watch. Last year it was Parker. This year,
TJ like big.
I like big dudes.
You like the big dudes.
Especially if you can find you a guy that can just power dribble, drop step, turn around, punch on people. I'm off that. So I don't know. I don't know who my favorite player to watch this year yet. I think it's gonna take me to watch a couple more weeks to come up with mine because it's a lot of them that I watch. Greg Grimes is one of my favorites. Leroy is a
Hickerson or Nobles?
Hickerson.
The Green Eye Bandit.
Yes, he's a monster. But it's a bunch of players I've been watching. I just can't pick out my favorite yet.
I like guards, and I love Wesley Cox V when Rich Homie Quan comes to play. I really like Rich Homie Quan. Troy. I love Troy because he's a defensive dog. When Emo is an absolute scorer. When he gets in his groove, it's hard to stop Emo. Polo is real nice. I like Polo.
I like Dez. Dez Brown comes out and plays.
I like Dez. I like
Who came to
Dez.
play this week?
Yeah.
I like Ricky Wright because Ricky Wright is a consummate point guard. A lot of players that I like. The point guard spot is loaded. If you are a point guard, you better come and you better be ready to play. Fellas, y'all back ready to reveal the first edition of the top 10, the CLB top 10. We're about to come up with it right now. We're going to go from 10 to number 1. This is where the debate and the discussion starts. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the first edition of the 2016 CLB top 10. Now, just to let you know how rough and tough and all that stuff the league is, we have 3 teams that are undefeated, and we have 7 teams that are at 2-1. We had to come up with a top 10 some kind of way. It wasn't easy, but ladies and gentlemen, this is what we came up with. At number 10, we have the Young Gunners. At number 9, we have Boston Court. At number 8 this week, we have Team Hustle. At number 7, the Young Winners, not the Young Gunners, the Young Winners at number 7. At number 6, we have 4100. Griff, what do you think about 4100 being at number 6?
They came off a tough loss this week, to Easton. You can really swap those two, maybe swap another, but at the same time, like Polo's putting up numbers, Emo's putting up numbers. They got a fast-paced offense, so 6 is probably, a good spot for them right now early in the rankings.
Coming in at number 5, the mighty East End. TJ, what do you think about the East End's performance so far, being at 2-1?
I thought at the beginning of the season when it started anyway that the East End was going to make an impact in the league anyway.
I didn't.
You did?
I didn't because I thought they were really small. I thought they were really small that first week. I thought they were really guard-oriented. Even though the guards that they had were really good defenders, I just didn't think that they could go on and be where they are right now. But after knocking off 4100 and smacking them all around, I'm a believer in the East End. Go ahead.
Only reason I said that is because, well, they got a big man, Warren. He gets rebounds. He rebounds the ball and so forth and so on. And the thing about they play defense. I mean, we gonna see in this league, and I think going through the season, defense is gonna make a big difference. You know.
Troy Weatherford and Levon Moore, they're two of the best defenders that we have in our league, especially Troy. He's an absolute dog. If you're going against Troy, you don't want Troy matching up against you. You like, man, please go check somebody else, Troy. Because when you see Troy, you're going to have trouble. If you don't believe me, ask Emo.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 4, we have First Care Dental. Griff, tell me something about First Care Dental, man.
First Care Dental is the team that nobody really looks at. You know, they got pretty much half of the games or whatever, but they play team-oriented ball. And, you know, it's a nice, diverse team, but everybody can shoot, everybody can take it to the hole. They play patient. And, you know, if they in a dogfight, it's a 50-50 chance who's going to come out with the winner.
I like Tone Butler. Tone Butler's nice. They got a couple of extra additions.
I like the rookie. I like the rookie and DeJuan McAfee.
I like DeJuan McAfee. DeJuan McAfee will be a top 5 scorer in this league. I can guarantee you that. DeJuan McAfee, the former Butler Bear, he's an absolute dog. Coming in at number 3, we got GOC, Gods of the Court. Teaser, what do you think about GOC?
GOC, I'm kind of in the Raptors a little bit about them because
You're not too comfortable
not
with
all
them?
the way, not all the way because Parker, of course, Parker's Parker. But at the same time, and they lost. I mean, they barely got past First Care Dental, I think, personally. Personally, I think First Care Dental should have been.
They had a bad shooting night that day.
Yeah, they had a bad shoot.
But they won.
Yeah, they did win, but at the same time, like, they pieces of their puzzle ain't all the way complete. You know, they got South Central. He's on his way back from overseas.
He immediately vaults into the upper echelon of the league when he gets here. They also have Dominic Spearman. He's playing well.
They got Connor Hines, which is Parker's brother, Connor.
They have a lot of guys. Jaquan, Rich Homie Quan Ransom, he's one of the best guys at the point guard spot that we have. Dez is probably the most dedicated GM that we have.
But they got leadership issue now, you know, from Trub. You know what I'm saying? Trub done been there. He done won a couple dirt bowls. He's a gritty player. Everybody know how Trub is. He's a dog too. So.
GOC is a team that you definitely don't want to see. Now, we got our 2 top teams coming in. We only have 2 teams left. I think everybody knows who these 2 teams are. I'm sorry. TJ, I have, and we came up with Kentucky Heat coming in at number 2. What do you think about Kentucky Heat coming in at number 2?
Kentucky Heat's gonna be a problem for a lot of teams.
Yes.
They got size, they got guards, they got full, they got a little bit of everything. And I think them playing their defense is gonna be tough too. But yeah, Kentucky Heat, I think it's gonna be a pretty good team for the league, you know. And I think DA went out and got, especially I think the biggest catch for him was getting the 5th. Because he's a problem.
You think it's the 5th? I think it's Matt Wilkinson. Because so far this year, in the first 3 games, Matt Wilkinson has proven to be unguardable. You have to double team Matt Wilkinson. And they have Greg Grimes. And they have Big Chauncey. And they have the 5th. And they have T. Walk. They are loaded. And
Tony Johnson.
They have Tony Johnson, Mr. Anybody Can Get.
And they got Gary Biggers.
And they have the 6th man of the year in Gary Biggers.
Right.
Ooh, it's hard not to have Kentucky Heat ranked number 1, and we're not even talking about Derek Anderson. He hasn't even suited up yet.
Right.
We don't know if he's going to coach or if he's going to actually come in and play. Even though he's up in age, he's still a veteran. He still knows how to play, and big-time games absolutely have no effect on him. So, Kentucky Heat is number 2. That leaves number 1 to the reigning, defending, undefeated 2015 CLB champions. No, right now they're undefeated.
True.
Right now they are undefeated. The reigning, undefeated, undisputed 2015 champions by any means necessary. Griff, what do you think about by any means?
You should ask the city what they think about by any means. I mean, you got Nate Johnson, you got Corey Jackson, you know, Terrell just left from Mexico. They added Dewan Bacard, they added Jeremy Kelly. You know, they still got Keyston Clark. They got Maxie, that came from
Jalen Maxey.
came from one strong. They got point guard work. I mean, they got a nice.
They have Juan. Juan is
like
hard.
if Juan's not the best defender, if he's not the best defender, he's second best behind Troy.
Yeah.
If I had to say right now, they play April the 6th. The game right now between is number 1 and number 2 team comes
April
up
2nd.
April 2nd, the first weekend in April. The first weekend in April, Kentucky Heat versus By Any Means. Right now, I would give the edge to Kentucky Heat because I think that Matt Wilkinson is unguardable. And Nate Johnson, he can't check Greg Grimes and Matt Wilkinson. Right now, even though By Any Means is ranked number 1, I would give the edge in that head-to-head matchup right now as it stands today to Kentucky Heat. What do you think? You guys disagree?
I mean, it's that game right there is like, it's gonna be like a Louisville, Kentucky, North Carolina Duke game. You know, they got a lot of guys that don't play D1 ball. This is their element, and it's gonna be, you know, once the ball's tipped, anything can happen. They got similar type of styles, you know. Unfortunately, they're in the same conference, and only one can go to the championship. But I have them two definitely in my semifinal on this side.
What you got, TJ?
The reason why I kind of could lean towards By Any Means, like you said, big on defense. I'm big on defense, real big on defense. But where Kentucky Heat got some players that can't be guarded, By Any Means also got players that can't be guarded. I think Corey Jackson he's pretty tough. You know, he's a good shooter. He finds a way to get to the basket. He's not the quickest person in the world. He's not the fastest person in the world, but he finds a way to score. You know. So.
It's, you know, basketball IQ is definitely important in the City League. And these two teams definitely have, you know, basketball IQ. They work, they play together. By Any Means, they can start with a whole complete different 5 every game, and they can come off the bench with a whole nother 5. DA and Kentucky Heat, they have the same type of, you know, UK formula with the platoon. They can come in with this 5 and that 5. So that's what the matchup's going to be. I definitely predict the overtime game in the regular season, and it's going to be even worse once they have to play each other, you know, heading to the tournament. So I'm not going to say it's going to be wide open, but, you know, it's going to be it's going to be some upsets, I tell you that. You know, somebody ain't going to come to play, and then, you know, Premier Tattoo is sneaky. They was up 15 on GOC, but like TJ said, they couldn't just go over the hill with it. So, like I said, it's going to be very competitive. I can't wait to see it.
So there you have it. We have the first edition of the top 10 from the 2016 CLB season. We have By Any Means, undefeated, ranked number 1, the defending champs from 2015. Can they go on and continue the season undefeated? Will they lose 1? Will they lose 2? Will anybody go undefeated? Will the Bad News Bears of the Bowel Movement get a win? My name is Ray Vaughn. This is the commissioner. This is the technical director. Man, we out.